I would like to welcome everybody to the conference Transforming Africa, Innovating Our Way Towards Sustainability. My name is Erika Kremer-Mbula. I am a professor of economics here at the University of Johannesburg and the chairholder of the Trilateral Chair in Transformative Innovation. This conference really embodies our commitment to leveraging innovation for sustainable and prosperous Africa.
We thought that at a conference like this, we really wanted to dig deep and start talking about the kinds of regulatory systems that we want to see to encourage innovation on the African continent. And so what we've got here is a high-level policymakers panel. We've got policymakers from the different levels of the regulatory systems on the African continent. And what we want to do is to facilitate a conversation, first of all, between them, and then also between them and us. In fact, there is no them and there is no us, right? We're all working towards this transformed continent where Africans can live and thrive and not only just survive. Transforming Africa conference is a really important convergence of ideas, of people, because it allows us from open air to intersect with other networks. Reigniting or reinvigorating old connections is invaluable.
It's incredibly valuable to see what's really happening in practical terms on the ground. Because we can do all the research we want, all the theoretical research we want, but if we don't understand how it's playing out in practice and what's really happening, we're missing the most important part.
The Transforming Africa Conference is really important for open air to catalyze momentum around an entirely new phase of research. Our new program on regulation for innovation is focused on drivers of innovation to enable a wide variety of development outcomes, achieving multiple sustainable development goals: food security, population health, quality education, climate action. All of these goals are not attainable without effective regulation for sustainable and inclusive innovation.
We need to keep our research abreast of developments. We've been working on these areas for close to 2 decades, right? And everything happens. So you're regulating a very dynamic area. The technology itself is changing, and then the needs of society are changing as well.
Artificial intelligence upcycles the human experience. Before you digitize us, remember, we are more than just numbers. We are the code. So before you collect people like data, upgrade your malware first.
Data mining is one metaphor that actually sits uncomfortably with us as a continent because it calls into consideration the idea of colonialism that takes our people as resource places to be extracted and so on and so forth. We should have an inclusive approach as to how we define concepts and show some sensitivity for a continent that is still hurting from colonialism.
For AI developers is a conundrum where they want to actually develop solutions. And it is not far-fetched to say that most AI solutions do not focus on serving the African population. The current project that we have on regulating innovation is really timely and important. With emerging tech coming out, it's really this moment that we have to define African regulation of emerging tech. I realized that there was a skills gap for local African AI developers. They are skilled in the STEM aspects of artificial intelligence, but there's a gap in understanding the legal aspects, especially the IP aspects surrounding the collection of data, especially if the source is online.
We have stepped into this space to really understand what Africa, be it through their governance systems or through traditional knowledge or protocols, or through some other typical African mechanisms, what it has to teach the rest of the globe.
We are trying to understand better how different legal and policy regimes interact with one another. and how they impact innovation on the African continent and in lower income countries more generally.
How innovation is regulated has significant implications for justice, equity, fairness across the whole world. And therefore, the ecosystem in which innovation is regulated is very important, whether in relation to access to medicine, whether in relation to the realization of the Sustainable Development Goals, whether in relation to indigenous peoples and local communities and their capacity to participate in the knowledge economy, whether in relation to women, children, gender, global north and global south.
You know, I'm a lawyer by training. This conference gives me what economists are thinking about innovation, what anthropologists are thinking about inclusive innovation, what the business people, what the sociologists are thinking about innovation. So transdisciplinarity is one of the values. And of course, network building is also one of the values of this conference for me.
Ultimately, those who drive innovations are not the ones that are doing law and policy, but it's the innovators on the ground. So we also need to take our research results and package them in the way that they become relevant to the innovators on the ground so that they know how they can use existing innovation systems, legal policy systems that govern innovation, how they can use these systems to do the type of innovative activity that they are doing.
Large enterprises are, for instance, able to access the tax breaks that we are talking about. These small enterprises, for them, they just know, once I get my license, that's it. That's the end of my relationship with the government. Yet, I believe the government has a far more reaching capacity compared to the other strategic partners.
The overarching area of interest within the project for me is regulation for innovation in the area of technology. New technologies, vast expansion in new technologies, specifically artificial intelligence and related technologies. Of course, data is a major component of that. So at this point in time, for Africa, it's very important to look at how we can regulate these technologies for inclusion, for development in our continent.
It's been an incredibly rich conference, and I want to take a moment to express a deep gratitude to all of you, to each and every one of you, for the quality of the discussions, for the contributions that you've made to the event. I really feel that we've pushed some boundaries in our thinking. People have spoken with an open mind, with a lot of sincerity, and you can see the commitment to see transformative change happen, all coming from a deep understanding and of the issues and very valuable expertise. The Transforming Africa conference has been a fantastic opportunity for the chair, and it has given us a chance to present our work to the world, but also even more importantly, has given us a chance to bring in all our networks that we have been working very closely over the years, such as Open Air, the Transformative Innovation Policy Consortium, the National Research Foundation, the Science Policy Research Unit at the University of Sussex, and the African Centre for Technology Studies.
What I most valued about this conference was learning and listening.
The opportunity to share some of our insights and research activities.
To interact with, network with, and really have close a relationship with policy actors.
The chance to reconnect with my colleagues that I haven't seen in quite some time.
To learn more about what is happening across Africa in terms of digital transformation, the green economy and innovation.
We've discussed projects that we can get to do going forward on issues related to intellectual property and climate change.
Reconnecting face-to-face with members of the Open Air family.
We were able to really research and catch up with cutting-edge research.
Research by Africans for Africans. That fills me with so much hope.